Alright guys, another video in the laws of exponents. This is power to a power. And there are kind of three components to this property that you need to know. So in your notes, and then hopefully you're keeping like a set of the different rules, you need to make sure that you have these three here for you. So this power to a power is where you have an exponent on the outside and then stuff on the inside. You're either going to have a single term or two terms being multiplied or a quotient or something like this. And you have to apply the power that's out here on the outside to whatever is on the inside. It's very similar to distributing, but I don't like to say distribution because then you will do the math wrong, like you'll multiply incorrectly, okay? So what you're doing is you're applying all the outside exponents to all the inside items, so whatever is inside the parentheses. So make sure that you have this somewhere readily available to you. All right. So for the examples, one thing that you need to realize is that here there are two items in here. This is 4 times x squared. So you actually have like 4 to the 1 times x squared. So when you apply this power here, we're going to use this rule, okay? You're going to apply it to everything that's on the inside. So the first variable or coefficient or whatever you have here will have this exponent, and then so will whatever is left. Okay, so what you do is you are multiplying these two exponents. So what you have is 4 to the 1 times 4, and then x to the 2 times 4. Okay, so then you have 4 to the 4, x to the 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, you don't want to leave your answers like this if they have coefficients. Okay, so any coefficient to a power, you always just need to evaluate it for whatever it is. So you can just plug this into your calculator, 4 to the 4th power, and you'll get 256 x to the 8th. Okay, if that was a little complicated, it's like if you have 4 cubed, okay, that's like 4 to the 1 to the 3rd power, which is 4 to the 1 times 3, which is 4 to the 3, which you would just evaluate in your calculator, which is 64. Okay, it's also if you had like x squared cubed. Okay, that would be x to the 2 times 3, which is x to the 6th, and that would be your answer there. Okay, they're going to get a little more complicated. So here we go. We're going to apply this cube to everything that's on the inside. A lot of times you guys will do 2 times 3, which is not right. Do not do 2 times 3 and tell me that it's 6. It's 2 to the 3rd power times x to the 2 times 3 times y to the 3 times 3. Okay, that's how you would kind of write that out. So 2 cubed is 8, and then you have x 2 times 3 is 6, y to the 9. Okay. Same thing here. This exponent gets applied to everything that's in here. So to this 3, to this x, to that 4, and to that k. What you would do is you just, note that these are powers of 1 on all of them, and you are multiplying it times those exponents that are already there. So you have 3, 1 times 2 is 2, x squared over 4 squared k squared. These you always evaluate, so 3 squared is 9. X squared and 4 squared is 16, k squared. Okay, and that would be your final answer, and you would simplify if you could. All right, here we're getting more variables. This is 3p cubed y squared over 2k squared. Don't mind my mess over here. So that when you write it out, you have 3 cubed, p to the 3 times 3, y to the 2 times 3 over 2 cubed k to the 2 times 3. All right, so you can start seeing how it gets complicated. Sometimes you'll have the same variables in the top and the bottom, and then you'll just need to decide, okay, where do I want to simplify first? So then 3 cubed is 27, p 3 times 3 is 9, y to the 6th, 2 cubed is 8. 2 times 3 is k to the 6th, okay? There we go. Here you have this property that's going to be applied twice. When you have something like this, when you have multiple parentheses, always work from the inside out when you simplify. So simplify from the inside out. Okay, so furthest in we have this parentheses. We're going to apply this squared property there. So we have 7 squared x to the 4 times 2 times x to the 4th all squared. So then we have 7 squared x to the 8 times x to the 4th all squared. And now I'm going to apply this exponent to everything that's in there. So we have 7 to the 2 times 2, x to the 8 times 2, x to the 4 times 2, which gives you 7 to the 4th, x to the 16, x to the 8, and then you'll notice, okay, these are the same base, so we have to combine them even further. 7 to the 4th, x to the, when you multiply this way, this is 16 plus 8. Okay, power to the power, you multiply. When you're multiplying, you add them. Okay, so then you get 7 to the 4th, x to the 24. And then you need to evaluate that 7 to the 4th power, which is huge. Okay, 2,401 x to the 24th power would be your final answer there. On a quiz or something, if you leave it like this, you'll lose points. Okay, if you leave it like this, you'll lose points. Okay, that would be minus 1 point there because you didn't evaluate that. Okay, last example here. All right, so you see that you have the same variable across the top and in the denominator. So what I would do is simplify the numerator, then simplify the denominator, and then simplify those together. So here you have to apply that 4th power. So you have u4v4 times uv cubed times v. And then I'm going to apply this here. So u squared times 2v cubed times that 2, which gives you u4v4 times uv cubed times v all over u4v6. Okay, so then you can simplify the top, or you can see what you can get rid of. Let's simplify the top. Okay, so I have 5 u's. So I have u to the 5. I'm going to cross those out so that I can see what I've worked with. And then I have v to the 4 times v cubed times v, which is v to the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over u4v6. And then this is where you have to apply your quotient property, where you subtract them. So this becomes u5 minus 4 times v8 minus 6, which is u1 v2. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. These can get complicated, so I recommend that you simplify as much as you can, kind of start crossing things off once you've simplified them so that you don't get them mixed up with your other work. Shoot me a reminder if you have any questions. Otherwise, make sure that you do your homework.